Oh yeah, I was told there's not enough PD to secure tonight's meeting.
Okay, so do we want to call it to order and hopefully we can get business done before the city gets
Uh,
crazy?
Second that, we're here.
All right, so Deputy Mayor Lowry calling this city council meeting to order. April 12th, 1985.
Make sure you're speaking up.
Thank you.
Uh,
So, if you didn't hear me, Deputy Mayor Lowry calling this meeting to order April 12th, 1985. And I guess we can just go around the room if there's any new business from you guys.
Um, I know it was new business because I did bring it up yesterday during the open close cancel meeting, but I didn't feel like I got a clear answer on that. It might have been I didn't hear it or distract. Um, Stephanie Taylor of the lifeguards. She's wanting to know where she needs to reach out to get a request a Granger lifeguard vehicle and an ambulance type vehicle for the lifeguards. Would that be the small business bureau, the mayor? Where should she reach out?
Probably to the SBA.
That's the SBA.
Okay, I will let her know. Thank you very much.
And to add to that, and I've told some people, but we haven't worked out all the finalized all the details as far as the responsibilities. But I have accepted a position with the SBA to work as a liaison to the public and the SBA and to kind of communicate things that the public needs, such as the ambulances or the lifeguard equipment. I believe that is going to be part of my purview. But so I would be the point person on that. But like I said, that has not been made official yet. So that's what
I'll
was
have her
discussed.
I'll have her send a letter to the SBA's mailbox and then
That'll work. Yeah,
have yeah, we'll go from there.
yeah,
Thank you though for informing me.
no worries.
I did have a question about the lifeguards. Did she have any updates to give you as opposed to like new vehicle requests and equipment, like staff, hours of operation? Because we have not seen a lifeguard on the beach since Dior left.
I believe she finally got all the equipment from her last letter to me. She's ready. She's about ready to move forward with recruiting. She's waiting she's waiting on those vehicles they could begin the training on that, and also she's also there's issues with safety concerns about training because um, like the businesses down in the Vespucci, the lifeguards are also being targeted by criminals and whatnot. So unless they have more than one individual available to guard, they are not opening up lifeguard tower because they do not feel it safe.
Was she able to give you a current list of staff?
I can reach out for that.
Okay. Yeah, because it's just been a little quiet since Dior left and no advertising. So I was hoping to get more like
Um,
numbers and how the lifeguards are doing.
I think she's also running into problems with like procedure stuff and whatnot. She wasn't sure if she needs to reach out to Dr. Dakota or someone else. Then they haven't been getting back to her. I'm not sure if they have yet or they just did, but she's been running into delays on the medical side as well.
Okay. Thank you for the update.
That was an
You're
excellent
welcome.
question, Deputy Mayor.
Yep.
Casey?
Casey.
Yes, yes, yes. I currently do not have anything that is ready to present.
Just because you haven't gone through had it pre-read by Callie for legal reasons. Is that the only reason?
One of them, yes.
Okay,
I guess
that's cool.
I would like to get more. No, I would like to get more consultation as far as the months, and fines.
Oh, cool.
So I think I want more research on that.
Gemma?
I'd rather Councilman Dana to go before me.
Okay.
As I stated yesterday, my only purpose for tonight's meeting with my time was to announce that I was running for re-election.
Good luck. Is there anything that you want to say about your platform this time around?
Oh, they'll get sick of hearing about it. Trust me.
Okay.
I got 3 weeks, so.
Okay. Well, now you're up, Gemma.
With that discussion we had last week about the hunting bill and the feedback and arguments that we had from the public, it's come to my attention with the 15 bag limit. Some of the public are worried about us not being able to enforce it, as people will be coming back and forth after, hunting excessively, and be able to go out again and just do it again, repeat the process. So, what I'd like to potentially put forward, and like other people's opinion on the council, is potentially offering, instead of per trip, per day, and daily, taking it as potentially looking at keeping track of how many animals have been sold to the hunting lodge, and keeping track of how many people have been actively hunted.
So you want to get a hold of the butcher's logs to see how many people or who has sold to him that day to see if they're over hunting.
Potentially. I personally feel like it might be a bit too much, but instead of using his logs as only a reference, but instead, if we see people, let's say someone goes on a hunting trip, what I would prefer, honestly, would be, we see someone on the trip, they've got 6 skins or, pelts on them. I notate how many they've had that day. If I see them again, out there again, I notate how many they've got again, so 4 more. Because they've come back maybe an hour later, so there'll be, like, I don't know, 10, 11, I guess still 15. They can't come back for the day. But I can also make sure and tell by the hunting lodge how much they may potentially have sold, and cross-reference if they are potentially, lying or not.
But what if they were to go hunting when you're not around, and then they do exceed the limit that they are allotted, but they only sell up to 15 a day? Essentially allowing them to take like a day off hunting, and then they can still sell from that day that they were over hunting.
I mean, that's why we have regular patrols, and we could check to see how many they have on person that day. Like I said, there's only so much you can do on patrol and exercising this. We are only one people and one entity after all.
No, I understand it. I just think it's going to be very hard to enforce. Like, once they get to 15, on good faith, you're trusting that they'll stop.
I mean, people are already upset. Well, I'd love to have good faith, but if, people exploit it, I mean, typically more draconic measures will happen. But I hope that hunters are not. I'm hoping and giving them good faith before measures come to that. as I know, the governor, from what I've been speaking with, is frustrated of certain hunters exploiting and doing this. So I am hoping that we can hopefully enforce and get these bad apples from ruining for the other hunters that are recreationally doing this.
Okay. I still have
Yeah, I
concerns.
just want to make a comment, and goes back to what Mr. JJ said. I think town um town meetings ago. This is why we need hunters to help us help the rangers and reporting these individuals. I understand they feel intimidated or they feel the consequences for, but I mean, I I don't know what to say. If you know assist if you can't you turn a blind eye and this keeps happening, I mean, the only option will be like Gemma says, more harsher and consequences. So I mean, we beg the hunters that are doing it by the book, who are um you know are lawful and everything, to help us and police this. They can report. I'm sure we can set up an anonymous tip line if need be, but you know, we it's until the rangers build their numbers, it'd be greatly appreciated. So I just want to voice that needs those are the options we're looking at right now. I think.
I think it's a
Honestly,
valid
I
point,
mean,
guys.
this is just an opinion, and we need to give our opinions. I think we should each write up our opinion or have two different opinions, because this is just a recommendation that's going on, that's being passed on, and let the powers that be decide from the arguments on the both sides what they want to do. Because honestly, I have zero problem with the 15 bag limit. Um, I
I don't either.
I don't I don't think it's something that needs to be imposed right now. Um, and if it was shown that it does, like we talked yesterday, we could put in an amendment. But if it was 15, I would not be upset. I would not be. I think that it would help to ensure that that won't happen. I guess I'm just hoping that the hunters and even, you know, even maybe the person doing it realizes that if he keeps on killing so many, that he's not going to have any more to kill. You know, I don't know, but I'm having faith that maybe they can decide without us having to twist the screws harder. And and that's just, you know, my opinion. If 15 goes in, though, I have zero problem with that whatsoever.
Councilman Dana, how many deer did you say you saw on your trip?
Five.
And how long was that in the span of time?
I was out there about 35, 40 minutes.
So 5 deer in a 30 to 40 minute span. That's about an hour and a half of hunting if we're doing it basically off that map alone.
Yeah.
So an hour and a half of hunting a day, I feel, is enough and adequate time for hunting. And that is not also including the 5 deer that you can deliver to the butcher up at Polite as well. So
Well, my
technically it's 15 harvesting of the deer, deer and boring net, and also delivery of the 5 carcasses as well, technically equaling up to 20.
Well, I just want to state for the record, in my case, since I missed about every other shot, it would probably take me an hour or 2 hours rather.
Not to mention, I feel like people have noticed that all numbers of animals in said state parks have declined due to overhunting.
Well, like I said, I did ask the governor after the meeting last week, because I was very interested, you know, to hear what he had to say, and I asked him because I'm thinking we've seen no reports And I asked the governor if the island he had commissioned a report on the wildlife, as how's the population, and he said that they had done that. That's why they instituted the new zones, and that right as of right now, the population was okay.
Hmm.
But
The problem is when it comes to excessive hunting in these zones, animals tend to not come back to the hunting zones as they, become fear and we become as an apex predator to them, and they do not like to return to these zones. That's why you've noticed lately that numbers have declined.
and honestly, I think you make a great argument, which is why I have no problem with it being 15.
Mr. King in the audience had raised his hand. I think he has something to add to this conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Just wanting to raise, because I was hearing you say about timing and stuff. It varies on zone to zone of where you are doing the hunting. Some zones it can seem as when we took Councilman Danob the other day and Mateo that it can be very bountiful. There can be a fair few deer kicking around the place, couple of boar. Sorry, hang on. I need to put some earplugs in. This rain is very loud. There we go. That's better. So yeah, some places it can be very bountiful and it can seem like they are obviously around and everything's good. And there are some zones where it literally is like a desert. There's no animals and you have to rely on salt blocks. So the time period for hunting, if you're doing it that way, can be a longer period of time just because you're relying on the salt blocks, your bait, to actually even get any animals. So there's just a little bit of a heads up for the information for you.
Thank you, Mr. King.
No problem.
But as it stands, as we had, what was his name? Mr. John Johnson was stating, he was hinting, pretty much, probably not implying, but the way he was arguing is basically incentivizing us to bring this sort of measure of a day limit to be able to keep track of people hunting in these zones. Anyway, I will rest it there for now. But I will definitely put this into consideration till the Chief Justice to think about this.
And the good thing is he's here to hear all of it. So thank you for being here, Chief Justice.
Yeah, I like it. I'm just hoping maybe there's a more reliable way to track when people are exceeding the limit. Because just like with the fishing, people will overdo it.
Well, like I was explaining to Gemma, there kind of is. With the new zones, they also added they gave the game warden more powers, and every kill that happens is actually tracked on a leaderboard. Because once you get your hunting license, you're automatically entered into a contest, and so it tracks every kill. So all someone would have to do is see how many kills that person has on at a time on a day, and 24 hours later come and check that leaderboard again, and they'll be able to tell how many kills they had that day.
Okay, see, that sounds a lot more reliable. Okay.
Yeah, so there actually is, I believe, a way.
That's what I was implying, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you send the rangers around to check each zone,
Yeah.
and then if someone tries to get around the system that way,
Yes. Gemma was a little worried about the legality of that, but I said that, because you're in a contest, it's a public thing. I mean, I'm not. I could have I saw it when I got my hunting license. She's worried about the legality of using that information against someone legally.
it's a public state park. if you don't like it, then you don't hunt there.
Yeah, like I said, I agree with you, but I understood her legal concerns about doing that.
I mean, I feel like that's gonna be. Could I ask for the Chief Justice's opinion on this? What would you think of the legality of using this public leaderboard as knowledge and reference info legality?
I don't know, Mr. Warden, so I'd like to not comment at this time. I'd have to investigate that before I make any comment.
But anyway, if we were to, actually use this and we check and see if that number has, exceeded that, that number we put on record. Let's say, for example, Counselor King here has got, I don't know, 50 animals already. And we check today. And, we check at this time. And then in the next 24 hours, we go to check Miss King's record. And it is at, I believe, 66 instead. She'll be technically over the overhunting limit. Would that give us legality to, point her for warrant and put a warrant out for technically overhunting?
Well, this is my opinion, but it's not a private leaderboard. When you get your license, you're aware that your kill count will be up on this leaderboard, and by hunting in that zone, that's basically you consenting to do this. It's not like something if you go into the ballot room and you want to check who you're voting for, it's a private slip. That information's just for you, and you know that.
Well, I know this for a fact. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would like to use that, but I'm just saying from argumentative sake, people will argue about the excessive use of it.
That's like people saying the bulletin board's excessive use. It's a government building, it's in a public place.
It's just one of those things that I feel it could be articulated in a different manner. But like I said, if the council and the DOJ are happy with it, we are happy to use that in terms of, processing and legality for the Rangers.
Okay. So that's it from the council. Do you have anything that you would like to say, Chief Justice?
Oh, yeah. There was one amendment this week to the penal code relating to brandishing. The penal code is being changed to include hunting weapons used outside of restricted areas. They're gonna count as real weapons being utilized in any crime.
When does that go into effect?
That is already in effect.
Good.
So no brandishing.
And also there's a no carry throughout the entire state. There's no this is a non-open carry state.
Excuse me?
No holsters.
Apologies, I'm gonna have to love yous and leave yous.
So basically, you're not allowed to have your gun out on display on your back. Unless, obviously you're out hunting or certain, but
Yeah, that is not.
gun out on display.
I have reached out to communities in both Tenny Shore and Polito to inform them of the law change so that they don't accidentally get busted on that. I told them to spread the word as well.
Very well. That's all for me.
And that'll be all for this week's council meeting.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thanks, guys. This was a quick one.
You think we can put that penal code amendment up on the chalkboard there?
Yeah, that's why we have it.
Yeah.
I was hoping the governor would be here, but I guess because they showed up yesterday, they skipped this one.
Yeah.
But you'd be happy that she skipped yesterday's. It was a little crazy.
Yeah.
There needs to be 2 meetings, one for council and one for public. Are you having trouble?
No.
Okay.
It is, it needs to be addressed by the government. Because not even the police, if he's where he is, can help.
That makes perfect sense.
I can't reach that mailbox. This one. Oh, wait. Yes, I can. Woo, there we go. I'll just now.
So it says, I'll tell you, he is a fucking smartass, which now means we will give you a day before he guy. Get him out of our mansion, or we will dump his offshore.
Jesus! That's what I was. It was about.
They want us to get him out of the mansion, but how do we do that? That's the second time they've said that.
Well, did you ask them what they want us to do and how we're supposed to do that? Like, we don't even know where their mansion is.
I want to, but I want to also speak to someone who's a little bit more qualified than I am about what to do.
That would be the government.
Yeah.
Because they'll probably have to get the FiveM involved.
He's getting his licenses! Woo! Hopefully they answer soon, 'cause clock's ticking.
responded.
I feel like it might be best not to respond to them. Like, what if they get volatile? Like, they don't like the response, so it's just like your 2 days turn to 1 day.
Also, I have the people at Hookies coming to get their licenses. If they show up in the next 10 minutes, will someone let them know I will be back shortly?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I need the list of prizes so I can start adding businesses to this list.
Yeah, hey. It's over. Nobody showed up. So, we got all our business. Really just talked. There was no business that we voted on or anything like that. Raking was there. And then he left. Yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ah, gotcha. Okay. I didn't know about it, so I don't know what I mean. Yeah, I didn't know about it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I I will keep. I really do would want it to be like 6 o'clock, but um, I'll keep bringing it up. I'll bring it up again, okay? I mean, even 4 o'clock would be a good time too, but no. I'll bring it up again for sure.
Earlier meeting times?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Yeah. Exactly. I guess so. No. No. Um, what's What's the what? Yeah, brandishing. So you can't. Yeah, no holes, and that includes right hunting equipment as well. Right. Yeah. I get it. It's just more for legal. What?
Hmm. Give me a moment, Miss Chase.
Have a good night.
Smoochies.
Smoochy boochies. I know, babe. I know. You good? I think Chief Justice to speak to you.
What the? Well, once Athena gets back, I'm gonna go set up the flyers.